What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here to talk about just what is upcoming for Treasure Cruise, because I did see a couple people asking for me to make a dedicated video just in terms of like what we should be expecting, or like when's the next big celebration that we can expect to come out in Treasure Cruise. So currently, in-game right now, we have the whole island of Fullerled with Garp and Kuzan, the Blackbeard pirates, all of those types of characters. And this celebration isn't really that hype, of course. You know, coming off of that versus celebration, the versus burning battles, whatever it was called. That was a massive celebration, obviously, with 3 Super Sugo Fest exclusives. And usually after these big type of events, there is like a cooldown period before we ramp up into another big event. Now, what we can say is that in early to mid-November, there is going to be another relatively big celebration. It's not going to be on the scale of a Super Sugo Fest, but it is going to be a big celebration nonetheless. We don't know what the theming of that celebration will be just yet, but it is going to be an anniversary style Sugo Fest, as it is the 10.5 anniversary Sugo. They usually do it obviously 6 months after the official anniversary Sugo Fest, and it's just more of like a catch-up period where people that, you know, want to get their hands on anniversary exclusive characters that are only available on these big anniversary banners, they're going to be available here. Now, that type of banner does not include Super Sugo Fest exclusives, so they're not as valuable as those big banners that we talk about, like the versus battles that we just come off of recently, but they are still better than normal Sugo Fest. So let's actually just go through a timeline of events of what occurred last year, because you can usually take what we have come to expect with Treasure Cruise and extrapolate that into what we could potentially predict in upcoming events in the future. So currently we've got this Island of Fullerled, what do they call it here? Hero of the Navy Sugo Fest, and along with that, of course, is the introduction of this guy right here, Avalo Pizarro and San Juan Wolf, obviously going on with the rest of the celebration with Garp. Now, we'll have to wait and see, but a lot of people have been predicting about like what could be coming for the treasure map, because the treasure map Sugo Fest should be in about a week's time, and people have been predicting that potentially a new Kobe character or a Kobe legend might be debuting for that Sugo Fest, and that definitely could happen. But let's take a look at what actually occurred last year during this exact point of time. So this is what occurred last year with the Uta's birthday celebration Sugo Fest, and even though this Sugo Fest was, you know, obviously celebrating Uta and the fact that it was her birthday during this event period, but it's more of the fact that this was a movie celebration, One Piece movie collection, Uta's birthday celebration Sugo Fest, introducing Sai Legend Uta, which I still think is one of the best normal legends in the game. And then you've got this character on the side, Fujitora and Kizaru, and obviously this unit is not that great. Relatively good in Rumble, but still not that great. So you can take this as what occurred last year in Garp's position. So instead of the Sai Uta celebration, we've got Garp's celebration Sugo Fest. So we move on to what happened next. We actually got a super evolution for Guild Tesoro. So I believe this was the Pirate Rumble free-to-play character for that month. So you do like 50 battles or 50 wins, and you get a couple of copies of the unit. And Guild Tesoro 6+, one of the better 6+s that has released. Just a phenomenal upgrade, great level limit breaks as well. So what could we see in replace of this? So obviously currently we've got Hawkins as the Pirate Rumble character for free. Now, because of this having some kind of tie-in with the movie stuff, I would not be surprised if we see this guy get a 6+, Gecko Moria. This character is an absolute menace in Pirate Rumble. Even though, you know, we have characters that are very good in Pirate Rumble, when they do receive 6+, they usually don't touch the Rumble stuff that much if the character is already very, very good or sees a lot of play in Rumble. So even though Moria is a phenomenal unit, I think that if he did receive a 6+, they're probably not going to change too much, because he's already very good. They'll give him some minor increases, but usually the big buffs for these units will come in regards to the 6+ and level limit break, in regards to their normal captain ability, super type, or special. This character, I think, is still a relatively good designed character. He's got a good Stoli captain ability that does provide good damage, a special ability that is really strong, has great synergy with the recent released versus Blackbeard, and he has actually a really good super type special as well. Like, he's just got a good design overall. When this character came out, I honestly thought he was like a top 10 level character when he debuted, despite him just being a normal Sugo Fest character. I think he's a very, very solid unit. So I'm really hoping to see a 6+ potentially from him in replace of what we had last year with Guild Tesoro. We move on to the fact that we have Law's birthday coming coming up on the 6th of October, so I wonder if we'll get anything in regards to that. But the thing is, Law didn't really have anything to do with, you know, the Island of Fuller Lead, and we just come off of Law versus Blackbeard recently, so we'll see if we get anything in regards to his birthday stuff. But then the treasure map for that month, moving on with the film stuff, it was again focusing on film Gold with Nami and Karina debuting, and we all know how good Nami Karina is. Honestly, one of the top characters in the game, period. Great in normal content, great in treasure map, great in basically every single game mode, phenomenal in co-op as well, and of course Pyro Rumble. So this character, very, very strong. So this is where a lot of people have been predicting that, you know, with the stuff that we have right now with the Island of Full Lead, that potentially we would get like Kobe, because we have a lot of representation for the Navy stuff. We already got Kuzan, obviously a little bit earlier in the Versus character celebration, so I'm not expecting Kuzan to debut like again, especially because we just got a free-to-play one from Pirate King Adventures. So we'll see what they have in store for that. One character that was on Island Full Lead, I believe, that hasn't had representation yet is Shiryu. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get a Shiryu legend. That would actually be pretty sick if we get a Shiryu that has some kind of tie-in with the Versus Blackbeard as well, to kind of make that team a lot better. So yeah, we had the stuff with Nami Karina as the treasure map. I think maybe Shiryu or Kobe for this celebration would make sense. Following that, we also got a super evolution for Zephyr for the Kizuna, because the Kizuna, I believe, was... Do I have this tab here? No, I don't. So the tab was for the Kizuna Legend Ein, and the boss was again Zephyr, I believe, and they basically gave a 6+ to Zephyr, gave him level limit break, so we'll see if they have anything to do with that as well. Maybe this is where they would debut Legend Shiryu to go up against a new Garp boss in the Kizuna, potentially. We'll see. Moving on from that, they also gave us information about the 9.5 anniversary and a 13.2 update. That was also last year, in like all of this combined for like in preparation for the 9.5 anniversary. This was on October 19th, so I wonder if we are going to get another kind of miniature version update for the half anniversary this year as well. If that is going to occur, we probably will get notice of that halfway through the month, so we'll see. Hopefully we do get something for that. And then of course they started giving hints as well. Again, October 19th, they started giving us hints about what kind of characters we can expect for that celebration. And then of course that celebration ended up being this guy here with the Shanks, and also this guy here with the Luffy. These two characters, they don't see as much play. When they first came out, they were amazing units, but of course as time has progressed, we have gotten better and better Luffys. We have got better and better Shanks characters as well during this year. So these characters don't see as much play as when they first dropped, but when they did drop, they were really, really strong. Both very good in Rumble. I mean, this Luffy is still an absolute menace, one of the best characters in Rumble, period. He has one of the hardest hitting specials in the game, so that's obviously a huge asset that he has that, you know, Shanks doesn't really have that much use in Rumble these days, but they have some unique abilities. They have this unique effect in their captain where they can keep charging their special back every time another character uses a special or a crewmate uses the special, and that was the whole gimmick of this batch, again focusing on the whole film celebration. So could potentially the 10.5 anniversary have further implications for Island of Fuller Lead? I feel like we're probably nearing the end of Island Fuller Lead stuff, so I think that we're probably going to be having a look at a different kind of celebration. Who knows what they have in store, but I don't think it's going to be film related. I don't think it's going to be Garp Kuzan related. It might go back to Egghead potentially, because a lot of people have been still wanting to see representation of Stussy as a SugoFest exclusive. We don't have Stussy yet, so that would be a pretty cool idea. Maybe more Vegapunk stuff. It's hard to really say at this point. I don't think they're going to go into anime spoiler territory. I feel like if it hasn't been shown in the anime, they're not going to go ahead and show it in the game. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what they have in store for that. So, this was also the side character of the batch, Katakuri, Oven, and Brûlé. Well, mainly just Katakuri and Oven is his character. I wish his character was a lot better, but they're just absolutely terrible. So all these three characters debuted all together in the 9.5 anniversary SugoFest, so we could expect something like this as well, where the 10.5 anniversary SugoFest is 2 anniversary exclusives, and then 1 normal legend. It could be 1 exclusive and then 1 normal legend. They could do a split part where they do like a part 1 and a part 2. They did kind of do that with Kobe. So Kobe, I believe, ended up being the treasure map SugoFest character, where if you pulled the Kobe, he was like the main booster in the treasure map, and he was an anniversary exclusive character. So he doesn't get many times to rerun, unfortunately. And then straight after that, when we get towards the end of that month, there was like a whole Kizuna clash and stuff as well. But then we had Kozuki Momonosuke debuting with Kozuki Hiyori, and that was like the end of month batch for the end of October, or the end of November, sorry, heading into December. So this was like the last end of month Sugo batch for the year of 2023. A lot of people really didn't like this batch that much. A lot of people really liked the Hiyori, but they didn't like the Momo. But as time has progressed, people kind of realized that, you know, the Hiyori buffs that she gives weren't really that great, and the utility that Momonosuke provided actually end up being better. And this actually happens a lot in Treasure Cruise. Like the big example of this one was Robin and Jinbei, right? Robin and Jinbei, when they debuted, everyone just kind of hated on this unit because it didn't really provide any offensive threats. It was more of just a really stally utility-based character. Everyone hated it. But then as time went on and as more and more events came out, people kind of realized, like, wait, this character is actually busted, because not only do they have a great utility special, they've got a good switch effect as well, but it's a Robin and a Jinbei. They get access to phenomenal support in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and Momonosuke is kind of the same way, where, like, Momo actually does get quite a lot of good supports because of all of the Wano stuff that we've been getting in terms of the support over the last couple of years. So Momo, still a really good legend, honestly, still pretty good, very good in Rumble as well. We move on from that, though. We get a little bit deeper into the month, and we get the treasure map here with Green Ball. So Green Ball debuting for the first time in Treasure Cruise. We probably do need a new version of Green Ball, to be honest, but yeah, not really that exciting. But either way, this is a very weird batch. These rare recruits, by the way, actually really good TM rare recruits. Tensei and Sakazuki, very good units. And then we get towards the end of the month, we have a Kizuna clash, new Kizuna legend Otama, who is actually not terrible, and Speed and can't remember this guy's name, the giraffe guy, but these guys were the Kizuna Clash Sugo Fest for this month. Again, like, all of these banners here are pretty much skippable. You don't really have to pull on them. Like, going back to these anniversary banners, like, yes, they do introduce very cool characters that are exclusive only to anniversary Sugo Fests. And yes, they're going to help with the event period during that point in time, but they don't see that much play outside of their events where it's like, oh my god, you need to pull for them. Again, it's all really dependent on what they release and what the characters do. And as I said, you know, this Luffy is one of the best units in Rumble, but that's kind of like where it finishes for him, unfortunately. We move on, though, and then we finally got a tease. December 22nd is when they actually gave us a bit of a tease as to what the New Year's banner is going to be. And of course, as we all know, the New Year's banner for the year of 2023 moving into 2024 introduced 3 new Super Sugo Fest exclusives. Roger and Odin, which was the headliner unit of the batch. A lot of people were really excited for that unit. We had the dual Yamato, which a lot of people were kind of pissed that we got a new Yamato Super Sugo Fest exclusive. I was definitely in that camp. And then we got Zoro and Sanji, which, as we all know, is the best unit in One Piece Treasure Cruise. So it begs the question, you know, when should you be using your gems to be pulling? Now, if you're a smart player, you probably just wait for the New Year's Sugo Fest, because the New Year's Sugo Fest, if we go by history, usually introduces the best characters in the game. Zoro and Sanji is the best character in the game. We have Dual Yamato, is probably the hardest hitting, or if not one of the hardest hitting units in One Piece Treasure Cruise, with that final tap with max investment is pretty nuts. And great synergy, of course, with Zoro and Sanji. Unfortunately, Roger Odin kind of fell by the wayside. They didn't really see much use. They just are kind of just okay. And there's just better units to be using, honestly, so it's a little unfortunate with them, but Zoro and Sanji and Yamato were definitely massive. And if you go back a couple of years, you had the Versus unit of Kaido versus Yamato, really strong unit, of course. You also had the double stacking conditional boost Robin legend. You had Legend Nami. Like, obviously, when these characters dropped, they were like the gods of One Piece Treasure Cruise, and that typically it's what happens with the New Year's banners. They introduced some of the best units in the game that last a very long time and take a very long time for them to get outdated. So what I will say is that if you're a smart player, you would be waiting until the New Year's Sugo Fest, until the end of the year. If you did want to go ahead and use your gems a little bit earlier, I think spending on the anniversary Sugo Fest is not a terrible idea, but it is all dependent on what they actually introduce, because if they're just bad units with no good synergies, it's a little bit of a waste. And it is dependent on what characters you're missing as well, because these characters, you see the Shanks, the Luffy, the Kobe, these characters are going to reappear on that banner coming in the middle of November, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But that's pretty much it. That's what we have to expect between now and the end of the year, so definitely wait until the end of year Sugo Fest, the New Year's banner. It's going to introduce some crazy stuff, and hopefully no Wano Kuni stuff. I think we're pretty much done with Wano now, at least I hope, so we'll see. Let me know your thoughts and opinions though. What are you going to be spending your gems on from now, between now and the end of the year? Hopefully you enjoyed this video though. If you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.